It's the Reedie Zee show. Reedie Zee show. It's the Reedie Zee show. Reedie Zee show. Reedie Zee show.
Ladies and gentlemen, Reedie Zee Monday Command. The unofficial depth chart came out today, so we're going to talk about that as well as the mini camp battles that are going on within the organization. And we have a special guest, Carter from WSH Carter, and much more. And that's coming up now.
It's the Reedie Zee show. Reedie Zee show. It's the Reedie Zee show. Reedie Zee show. Reedie Zee show.
What's up, everybody out there on YouTube, X, Instagram, TikTok, and whatever other social media platform you are following us from? What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Doing good. Good. Carter. Welcome to the Reedie Zee show, Monday Command. Pleasure to have you. You know what I mean? Definitely shout out to you and the work you're doing over there on your channel and your content. So salute to you, brother, and thank you for coming on with us.
Both close to 2K, and thank you for having me on.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, man. Love what you're doing over there. But if you haven't already done so, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and, let us know in the comments, what y'all want to talk about and things of that nature. We'll try to tailor the show towards you moving forward. So let's just get right into it, fellas. The unofficial depth chart came out today, and I seen some things on there that I wasn't expecting. Then there are some things that were kind of like formalities. So for you, Z, what was your thoughts on that?
Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up. But initially, first thoughts for me was like, well, this is unofficial. I saw that, I scrolled all the way to the bottom, just scanning through. One thing that stood out to me was that your boy, KJ Osborne, listed as the starter punt returner. But they, when the schedules drop, they always try to mix it up and kind of, throw some things out there. So, with Jaylin Lane expected to be that guy back there in a return game, it was shocking to see KJ there, but, didn't put much into it. And our guy, Terry McLaurin, made the depth chart. So I was shocked to see that, of course, with what's going on with him and his contract situation. But yes, they put him on a depth chart. So I'm about to present that here. And we're going to go here. So bring up that first. So it should be here on your screen. Wide receivers, Terry McLaurin. They got him in some brackets. So I'm sure that's conditional. Gallup, Chris Moore, and Strakem. The left tackle is right. Left tackle, left guard, center, right guard. Cosme is situational. Got Allegretti right behind him. Wiley over Connolly Jr. Starting out with the depth chart. So some notable things. But Carter as well. When you checked it out, what stood out to you?
Well, they're gonna make all the guys earn it, right? They're gonna make all the rookies earn it. So Trey Amos, we kind of knew he had already earned it, so not surprised to see him as a starter. But Jaylin Lane, he's going to be the kick returner. as far as Connerly and Wiley, we knew, Connerly hasn't won the job yet. He's probably going to win the job. I expect him to. Sam Cosmi, Dan Quinn said this morning it's on the table for him to play week 1, but I just don't think, like when he went down in January, I don't think he can make it, but I hope he does. Yeah, they're just going to make the rookies and the younger guys earn it. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt is not going to be below Chris Rodriguez Jr. when the time, comes for week 1. Probably not even below Jeremy McNichols. So, yeah, they just make them earn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my initial takeaway from this unofficial depth chart that came out. My first thoughts when I looked at the running back position, and I was like, Krosky-Merritt is 5th on the depth chart at this time when, we've been out at training camp. We've seen the videos on the days we weren't at training camp, and it seems like he's the talk of the town as it relates to in the running back room. So that was shocking to me to find him that far down on the depth chart, going in. But this regime is a regime that makes you, earn it, like Carter alluded to before. So, I had to, tell myself like, okay, this is the same thing similar to last year. Then also that KJ Osborne at the punt returner, that was the second thing that I looked at, and I was like, it's no way. Like KJ Osborne, like, what are we doing here? But we'll see. We'll be in live action this Friday against the New England Patriots, where we have the joint practice on this coming Wednesday. Tomorrow is a travel day, and then Thursday will be a walkthrough. So that was my initial thoughts when I saw that on there. But speaking about depth chart, so who do we think that's going to obviously play Friday if we move along to the preseason game versus I'm gonna come back to the depth chart, but I just want to ask this question first. For Brandon Coleman, who didn't practice today because he got shaken up in our last practice a couple of days ago. So who do we think fills that gap based off of this depth chart? Is it going to be Chris Paul or is it going to be someone else?
I would say I think it could be Paul. It could be a situation where we may see, Tim McKay based on how ready he is. For those of you who don't know, Tim McKay is the undrafted free agent that we signed. He was one of the higher paid guys that received a guaranteed contract. So, if somebody, and he came out of NC State, I believe. So, he dealt with some injuries his senior year. He started out here on the injury list, and we actually just activated him early towards like the middle or the end of last week after Nate Herbert retired. So I'm looking forward. Hopefully he does get to play and he gets some reps. So I'm looking to see how well he does, as he transitions into the NFL, because, when we signed him and gave him that guaranteed money, I believe it was like $200,000-$300,000 that they, that they gave him. It stood out to me. I'm like, oh, this is a guy they must really like. And typically when you're paying a guy like that, he was highly sought after. So they did what they had to do to lock him in and, get him in our building. So hopefully that he can kind of get in the mix. But as far as starting, it could potentially either be like a Trent Scott, because, he's a versatile guy, or, Chris Paul. But at some point, I would like to see McKay fill in as well.
He missed rookie minicamp. He missed like every part of the offseason so far. So, I mean, you're probably going to see him third or fourth quarter maybe. But, yeah, starting probably Chris Paul, Trent Scott, like Z said.
Okay, let's move on to the defensive side of the ball. Any surprises from you guys as far as that? Like Carter alluded to at the top of the show, he wasn't surprised about a Trey Amos, being the number one, well, not number one, but one of the number one cornerbacks, coming out the gate. So any other surprises? I would say for me, I was shocked that Von Miller is the number one outside linebacker for a guy that was brought here to be a situational pass rusher. That kind of stood out to me a little bit, but everything else is kind of, where I thought we would be. And then also it shows Will Harris is outworking Percy Butler. I thought that since he was the incumbent, he was already in there from last year, as a player that played that position, that he would have more of a chance at the strong safety position. But what are your guys' thoughts?
Go ahead, Carter.
I'm not sure why Tyler Owens is behind Percy Butler. Like Tyler Owens is a guy that they've talked about, got first team reps like almost every day. So I'm not sure why he's behind him, but and because Percy Butler, they extended him, he's a special teams ace. He doesn't really do anything else. That's what stuck out to me. Tyler Owens behind Percy Butler. Nothing else really surprised me.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that I saw, like you said, Reedie, seeing Von Miller there, I'm like, oh, okay. But looking at the depth chart, it's like, okay, who else could have been there? Maybe a McGee, maybe a Hampton. But I mean, I'm not sure. So it didn't really make a big of a deal. But everything else just looks, it looks like what it's supposed to. Dietrich Wise and Armstrong at the ends, Payne and Kinlaw there. Linebackers, Luvu and Wagner. And like we mentioned, Von Miller. And then, of course, the DBs, Marshon, Mikey, Trey, the guys that we expected. You mentioned Will Harris. I felt like Will Harris was definitely brought here to be the Jeremy Chin replacement. He was brought here to be a starter. So I was definitely, seeing him above Percy Butler, makes sense. Percy Butler did get, reps last year out there with the starters. He also, like you said, a special teams ace, just got his contract extended. But, I feel like that he was a liability in pass defense last year a lot. So, they definitely brought him back because they believe in him to some sort. But I think that, like Carter mentioned, Tyler Owens is a guy that stood out last year and this year. He's been having a great camp so far. So I'm looking forward to see what he brings because I feel that he's a guy that can definitely be out there on the field with the ones. They're going to sprinkle him in. And, when they run their different packages, sometimes they may have 3 safeties on the field or whatnot. He's going to be a guy that's going to be all over the field. So I'm looking forward to seeing that, and having him behind Percy definitely is a slightly, it's a little, it catches your eye, but as we stated before, this unofficial depth chart, it really don't mean nothing.
Yeah, another position group that kind of caught my eye is also the linebacker position, the middle linebacker position. Kane Madrano is the third behind Bobby Wagner and Jordan McGee. I agree with the slotting, but I thought he would be an outside linebacker more than a middle linebacker, or he would compete for that box safety position, like to get some reps in that in different packages. So that's kind of a little surprising. I definitely thought he would be slotted where Nick Bellore is slotted. Nick Bellore is obviously our special teams ace and tackling machine on special teams. And but just on the regular outside linebackers, I would say Sam linebacker, he is number 2 on that list. And I would have had either Dom Hampton or Kane Madrano slotted in that spot. That's a little bit concerning for me because I thought Kane Madrano was making hay and he was doing a couple things that he should be doing as it relates in the pass coverage, as in tackling in camp. So I guess I can't take too much onus on this unofficial depth chart, but it's surprising that he is there. And then also like our depth behind Marshon Lattimore, Bobby Price and the Kayvon Seymour, Allen George. I would have thought that would have been maybe a Jonathan Jones type position or something for him to be right there, but he is behind the rookie Trey Amos. I'm not sure what side which corner he's playing. Is it either the strong corner or the weak side corner or whatever? But that's a little bit surprising. I thought that Jonathan Jones or even Noah would have been competing for that second position, even though Noah is behind Mikey Sainristil in the slot. I thought that they would be right there. So that's a little bit surprising for me as well.
Yeah, that is surprising. I'm not sure why they had what's his name, Jonathan Jones behind. Who they have him behind? Because I can't see it now. So I'm having.
Yeah, he was behind. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. Z had that up, but I have it right here. I just had it right here.
My bad. I don't know what just happened.
Do you still have the depth chart up? I'm trying to see.
Yeah, I got you. Hold on. There you go.
Go ahead, Carter.
Oh yeah. Jonathan Jones, yeah, I would think he would be behind Marshon Lattimore, but yeah, that's concerning, that depth behind Marshon, Bobby Price, Kayvon Seymour, he's a special teams guy. Um, but yeah, I expected Noah I to be behind Mike Sainristil, slot guys. Jonathan Jones is an interesting depth piece. I really like what he has to offer. I think, he can play outside and inside. He has 10 years of experience, won a few Super Bowls with the Patriots, and yeah, so I like that, but yeah, nothing else really caught my eye there. Carlin Vigors, I've heard he's done really well so far. I don't know if he has a shot at the roster, but I see him in that third position behind Amos.
Yeah, and I was saying before they kicked me out, I'm not sure what happened, but I was saying with Jonathan Jones and Noah I, those are two guys that can play, both corners, outside and inside. So I think those two guys are definitely going to move around. And Jonathan Jones also played a little bit of safety.
Right.
So he can get back there at the free. So we have a room full of versatile guys, and versatility is something that our coaching staff is high on, no matter the position, especially along the defensive and offensive line. So overall, getting guys that can play different places helps us out. Like if, God forbid, if knock on wood, if you get any injuries or just anything that comes up where you gotta, plug and play guys in other areas. So definitely looking forward to see how that all folds out. But yeah, Vigors, I've been hearing his name. I haven't saw much, but I definitely been hearing his name sprinkling around. So, good to see come preseason how he plays as well.
And another guy that I'm glad to kind of see is moving up the depth chart at the free safety position is Jeremy Reeves, because we talked about this, numerous times ad nauseum, that in the past, Jeremy Reeves, when he's been called on to come in and actually play defense, he's known as a special teams player, but he can actually play free safety. And the times that he had to come in years past and play safety, he's played pretty well, pretty good. We had Lake Lewis on last week, and we discussed that, and he was alluding to that it was a little bit of a political thing with Jeremy Reeves, because we were asking him, like, why isn't he not on the field more? And he told us that this regime is trying to get him on the field a little bit more than the Ron regime previously. So I'm glad to see he's moving up the depth chart, and hopefully he gets some reps at free safety in this preseason game coming up.
Yeah, he's been known to kind of sell when we get into, actual football on the defensive side. But yeah, he's definitely a good depth piece. I think they extended him as well. So yeah, excited to see what he's got. Joey Jr. talked about him. He said, they're going to try him in more of a defensive role. So yeah.
Yeah, Jeremy Reeves is always exciting to see on the field. Pretty lit. And this is a special team side. Kicker, punter, holder, long snapper, all self-explanatory. Kick return, Luke McCaffrey and Austin Eckler, with Felton and Kaz Allen, third and fourth. Punt returner, KJ Osborne Lane. As we spoke earlier, it was kind of shocking to see Osborne there. But, that's definitely alludes to the rookies earning their spot. But also, again, this is an unofficial depth chart, so not putting much into it, but I definitely want to see my man Lane return a kick or punt on Friday and just kind of see what type of excitement he brings to the field. It's been a lot of hype around him and his speed, his ball tracking, even when he lines up at receiver. They're saying he has, when he get left the draft, they was comparing him to Deshaun Jackson. And, they were saying that he has ball tracking skills just like him. That's a steep comparison. I mean, Deshaun Jackson is one of the greats. So, I'm hoping that he can live up to it, because if he do, that's only great things for us and this wide receiver room, especially. And we can kind of roll into this, especially, the other day, Reedie and I, we've been talking, with the whole Terry McLaurin holdout situation. And, when we were out at camp, we felt like the wide receiver room struggled a bit. Carter, what have you seen or what you've been hearing about the wide receiver room? Because, I pretty much went on a limb and said, like, it's just, with Terry not here, it's just Debo and the guys. A lot of people, somebody in the comments said I was disrespecting Noah Brown and things of that nature, which, it wasn't a shot at Noah or anybody else specifically. It's just saying that, outside of, with Terry McLaurin not here, it's been a big question mark, and it stood out in practice that he's needed. So how are you feeling about the whole Terry situation, the wide receiver room as a whole, and what you seeing and hearing?
They need Terry. Like, if you don't have Terry, you can't win a Super Bowl. You can't even get close. He's the number one weapon. Especially like Noah Brown's had injuries this offseason, so yeah, they need Terry bad. But I mean, I've seen Deebo Samuel's had a good camp so far. He's obviously having to play the wide receiver one role. He's done okay. I mean, people talked about him being injured Saturday. He's fine. He practiced today. Had a few catches today. Had a few touchdowns. He looks good. Ja'Cory Brooks had buzz early on, but I haven't really heard anything from him like recently. I've heard he's done good, but he has a lot of drops. Jaylin Lane, obviously, he looks really good right now. And that's why he'll be the punt returner. They're just working him in. Luke McCaffrey, Cliff Kingsbury said this morning he's had to play outside a lot more. And I don't know, like I don't like Luke McCaffrey that much. I don't think he has much to offer, but we'll see. Apparently he's looked good on the outside, a wide receiver, but the room is okay, but they need Terry. I mean, they need Terry. And I don't think Terry will play with resentment if they don't extend him, but I just hope they extend him. I just hope they pay him. I think he's a $30 million wide receiver, like exactly at 30, but also get that, Adam Peters don't want to be the first guy to pay a guy that's over 30. Like, he's going to be over 30 when it kicks in. I understand that Adam Peters don't want to be the guinea pig and do that, but I think Terry's a $30 million wide receiver. The receiver room looks much worse without him, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I kind of am agreeing with you on this Luke McCaffrey thing. I kind of soured on him a little bit because the days that I was out at camp, he really didn't show me much. You hear in the local media, the insiders saying that, he put on size and, he's working. Then you see the videos, you see the stuff that his dad says and his brother says. I believe that he was working in the offseason. But to me, I just feel like he's just not creating that separation that we need, that he needs to, separate if he's in the slot, because he's not the Z, he's not the X. So he's in the slot. So he just, I don't know. So I'm not necessarily sold on him. And also Ja'Cory Brooks is kind of simmered down a little bit because he did have that major buzz in the beginning of camp. The first day where he caught the 2 touchdowns, and the next day he caught another touchdown. And then when the fans finally got out there to see him live, he had a case of the dropsies. He's getting open. JD5 is looking his way and throwing him the ball, but he just has to concentrate and come down with those catches. And one-on-ones, as far as like individual drills, he looks pretty good, but in team reps, he's just not really, giving me what I need. Also a more the same thing. Like they went up top to him 3 times on the 9 route and he dropped 2 of them. And then they went up top to Noah Brown and he dropped them. So many drops all around the board from the wide receiver position. Like you said, I do believe that we do need Terry McLaurin back in the building because Deebo can't do it on his own. Deebo is the shining light in that room right now from what my eyes saw. And then from all of the reports that we're seeing within the media and things of that nature. But Jaylin Lane, like, to me, he didn't really do too much. I mean, he made some catches in individual drills, but as far as in the 11-on-11, he didn't really do too much besides that catch he made over the top over Mikey Sainristil on a play that would have been a sack, if we're being honest, because JD5 just stood in there for like 50 seconds and they were around him and he threw the ball and it was a great catch, but that wouldn't have, he probably would have took off already on that. So that wouldn't even, happen in real life. But what's your thoughts, Z?
Yeah, I mean, the Luke thing, it's like we saw Luke towards the end of practice. I think that was either Tuesday or Wednesday, and they had him at the end, down in the end zone right in front of us, doing some little workouts and stuff in here and there, some individuals that was after the 11s. I mean, Luke is Luke. It's the verdict is still out on him. He does well at kick return. Last year, when we were at the games, we saw him open a lot, but I just don't think there was a lot of trust there, from Jayden and him. Because Jayden, a lot of times Jayden just wasn't really looking his way. Hopefully this year that can change, and hopefully this preseason he gets a lot of bump to kind of loosen the kinks a little bit, or kind of just show what he really may have. But they did come out and say that he was working with his dad and his brother and those, and they showing the picture. He did get pause. He does look buffer. He looks like he's been in the waiting room, but I just haven't seen it really translate onto the field. And I mean, the days that we haven't been there, I've been seeing tweets and things come out saying that he's having like an overall good camp. I'm not necessarily seeing that myself, but who knows? But Jaylin Lane, his name has definitely, especially over like the last 3 or 4 days, his name has been flying around. I think he had like multiple touchdowns, quite a few catches over the weekend. So his name is definitely, his stock is definitely rising. Ja'Cory Brooks, like Carter mentioned, started out hot, and kind of fizzled out. But also hearing when the report came out that Jayden kicked somebody out the huddle, low key, I felt like I heard that it might have been him.
It was him.
It was him. Yeah. So, things of that nature. So when Lake was on, Lake talked about how well Jayden trusts him. But I think also that, that they're being tough on him and letting him know, like, you got to earn it. He's an undrafted guy, so he's definitely fighting. But, to a good point, he's been out there with the ones. Me and Reedie seen him out there with the ones, and we was shocked. So they must really like him to kind of keep him, giving him opportunities. And this is even after he had a few drops. So I think he's going to be that developmental piece. After, another guy that we picked up through, undrafted free agency, and, looking at his tape, he was a dog. He plays faster than he looks, really. And I think overall he could be a good player. It just depends, if he takes advantage of these opportunities in the preseason. It's definitely going to be, where he can kind of showcase that.
Yeah, I think he's getting the opportunities that anyone would ask for with Terry McLaurin being out. So there are extra reps to go around within that room. But, like we said in the description, like, who else steps up with Terry McLaurin out this week against the Patriots? Like, who's going to, kind of like make themselves be a part of this 53-man roster when it's all said and done in about 3 or 4 weeks from now? With Terry being out, you have multiple opportunities, so you're getting his reps. So who's going to make the best of it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought coming into this training camp, a guy like Michael Gallup would kind of like show up a little bit more, but he's been kind of flying under the radar. And when I saw him out at camp, I wasn't too impressed with his separation or ability to run away from defenders. And he was known as a guy that was a speed guy that could run away from people. And they were throwing 9-ball after 9-ball after 9-ball to him, and he could not come down with one, or he could not get away from that defender. So I'm just curious to see what guys pop this Friday and Wednesday when we have this joint practice. Like, I'm waiting to hear the tweets. I'm waiting to hear all of the information that's coming from New England that gets back to us, and I'm waiting to see with my own 2 eyes on Friday night. So, like, what other receivers do you guys have like coming in, kind of like still in a spot? You know what I'm saying? Given the situation with Luke McCaffrey, him not really showing up. We got the Jaylin Lane coming in. He's further down the depth chart. We know that's probably a formality for now. But who do you guys have, coming in, kind of shaking things up? Because me and Juan on the Burgundy Breakdown, we said that it was going to be Michael Gallup and Noah Brown was going to shake things up this year. So who do you guys have?
Well, my thing is, like, who's going to be the 6th wide receiver? Because obviously they're probably going to keep 6, probably not going to keep 7. Who's going to be the bell cow guy? Like, the thing for me is, like, does youth win? Like, if Ja'Cory Brooks can, show up Wednesday, show up Friday, most importantly, he could be that guy, but I think they're going to keep him on the practice squad, develop him, and then he'll become something. Maybe, I hope. Ran a 4.6 at the combine, so not great, but I've been impressed with him so far. Yeah, he has been with the ones, but who's going to be that 6th guy? Chris Moore has been getting a lot of reps with the ones I've heard. He looks pretty good. KJ Osborne looks okay. Like, we've all heard their name, but they're just kind of mid right now, in my opinion. Like, the 5 guys that have their roster spots locked is like Noah Brown, Luke McCaffrey, Jaylin Lane, Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel. Who's going to come after that? So all those guys have been kind of mid after. I'm watching all of them. Ja'Cory Brooks, Chris Moore, KJ Osborne, Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup is 29, though. He's not that old. But, yeah, we'll see. I just haven't heard much from him, sadly.
So let me ask you this question. My bad, Z, 1 second. So with, you said Luke McCaffrey was a lock, but is he a lock going into year number 2? You know what I'm saying? Is there somebody else that can overtake him, or will he be on the roster by necessity because we don't have another guy that can actually outplay him or, give you what he gives you?
All right, let me be honest here. It's nothing that has to do with his play. It's like, he was picked at 100. The squad loves him. Adam Peters worked with his brother in San Francisco. He's going into his second year. Like I said, he was picked early. That's why they're going to keep him. Like, he doesn't necessarily, in my opinion, have to prove much this offseason. And then next year is going to be the big year for him. I think that they just like him so much, and they think, he can take a big leap this year. So I think he has a roster spot locked because of that, not necessarily because of his skill or his talent or anything he does this offseason. But yeah, I'm not impressed with him so far either.
Yeah, definitely feel you on that. Well, I mean, of course, it will be Brooks, who we will look forward to kind of see if he can, most excited for, most intrigued to see do something. Because I even with Jaylin Lane being a rookie, I don't think he's going to play that much. You know what I mean? So, but also they brought in this guy from the Defenders. Is it Braylon Sanders?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know if that's just a roster filling, if he really has a shot, or what that is, or what it's going to be. But someone to look at. I don't know. The wide receiver room it pisses me off because with Terry not here, it kind of bumps everybody up, and it's just like you said, Carter. It's a bunch of mid, and I've been saying it since draft. You know what I mean? Like, what's the corresponding move? Who is going to be the replacement for, some of these guys? What are we going to do? And it's just, I don't feel like we really invested much into that position. You know what I mean? And it was a lot of hype around the Michael Gallups. There's a lot of people talk about Noah Brown too. Like, I don't know. I'm not knocking Noah Brown. I just don't see what a lot of people see when they talk about, like, he's this really good receiver. Like, he had some solid catches last year, but I also saw a lot of drops. He's one of those guys on the deep routes, he's falling, or he's diving, and things like that. He'll go after a play, but he's not always. It's not like that guy that's the smoothest route runner. That's he get into it, the ball's there, boom. It's a lot of like falling, and he catching it, and he's down to the ground, things of that nature. So for me, it's like I know that he's going to make the team. I know he's one of our top guys. I want to see a lot more out of him. They kind of show me what everybody else sees, but I mean, he is one of the better of the bunch, and Deebo even praised him for his route running. So I mean, I guess with more opportunities, things can happen. So it's up in the air. But I feel like we need another real playmaker in that room. Somebody sneaky.
So when I was a guy that was saying we should bring in a Keenan Allen or somebody else off the street, people were saying, nah. Now that Terry is out, we're kind of feeling it now. Like, because if this thing goes longer than what it's going, knock on wood that it doesn't, hopefully he gets signed this week or soon thereafter. What are we going to do? Because Deebo, like right now, he's catching the deep passes, and he's a running back / screen guy. You know what I'm saying? Quick hitter, slants and stuff like that. Like, that's his game. Yard after catch, not going up top. So
he said the other day, not to cut you off, he said the other day he hasn't even seen the backfield.
Right.
He said it on the clip the other day. So it's like, wow.
So I'm just curious to see like how this thing plays out if this holdout gets really ugly. I'm really curious to see about that.
They're signing like guys like Tay Martin. They're signing Braylon Sanders. Like you're not going to see anything from them, right? They're irrelevant right now. So my thing is like, when are you going to sign like a real player? Like there's Keenan Allen, there's a few other players. Like bring them in for
Amari Cooper.
competition. Yeah. Bring them in for competition, and if you don't like what they have to offer, you can go ahead and cut them. But yeah, when are you going to bring in a real guy that has competition, that's ready to step in? And I think Amari Cooper could play, kind of that Terry role. Obviously, nowhere near as good anymore, but he could go up and top and catch it. That's just, yeah, you're right. That's not Debo's game.
Mm-hmm. So it's a big question mark there in that wide receiver room, and it's showing. So Wednesday will be the real test to kind of see how that plays out, and like you said, then Friday. But let's tap into the comments real quick, see if we got anything on that end. Somebody on our IG side said, "What up, Carter?" Logan Hater 7175. Someone asked us our opinion on Josh Connolly Jr. Want to take that question, Carter?
He's got to get stronger. He has to work on some fundamental stuff. I think he's adjusted to the right side pretty well, but right now he's just not. I don't think he's ready to start. I think week 1 he will be the starter, but right now he has to get stronger, fundamental stuff, and then once he takes that next step, really gets adjusted to the right side, I think he'll be fine. If he's not anything great this year, he could be a depth piece, but we obviously hope he can be a starter all year.
Yeah, I think with Connolly Jr. too, it's catching up with the speed of the game. You know what I mean? Having a guy like Thompson on the other side, kind of helping him out, staying in his ear is pivotal. I've been seeing at camp where, they talked about Tunsil when he was in Houston and how he wasn't a leader and kind of more of a selfish guy, just about himself. Whereas, like, he come over here and you see him, he's snatching the rookie up and, pulling him aside and talking to him, going through some techniques, and they showing clips of, them side by side. So I think, having somebody like that in the room helps. Also having a guy like Wiley, he may not be on the, Tunsil level, but he's a guy that, come from Super Bowl pedigree. He, has rings. He's been around and been on some winning teams. So I think he can offer him some info, some insight as well, and some technique. And and I kind of like that it's a battle. I know when we drafted him, we kind of went up like, oh, okay, well, that's our starting right tackle. Well, it's not guaranteed. You got to earn it. So we'll see how that play out. But I think Connolly Jr. will be fine. Dan Quinn praises his work ethic. A guy that works hard. He's coming in and he's trying to learn, and it's always, he's always a professional. So we'll see what's up with that. But I think he'll be fine. It's just he's getting kind of like a slow start to things, rightfully so, with being a rookie.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like you said, Carter, I think he needs to get a little bit stronger. He needs to get a little bit more stout at the point of attack. He's a guy that's supposed to be known for having good feet. So I think that's going to kind of help him. But I'm curious. I don't know if he's the week 1 starter. From what I've seen thus far, I think that he might not be ready as of yet. He might need to develop a little bit more. But I need to see more in these preseason games to really narrow that down. But from what I've seen out there at camp, you don't really get a true estimation of what he really can do because as far as setting and stuff like that, because they only had the equipment on the one day when we were out there. Then the other days, they're in shorts and t-shirts, so can't really get a good gauge on that. But I do think he's a little bit slow. But Duran B says, whoever doesn't start at right tackle, do you put them at right guard if Cosme's not ready, or go with Allegretti? I think right guard right now, I would lean towards a Wiley. If it all depends on how it falls out. If Connerly Jr. is ready and indeed he is the right tackle, then I would go with Wiley and I would kick Wiley inside. I think he has more upside as far as he's a bigger body. Allegretti to me, from everything that I seen last year, like you could put him in a pinch, but I don't want him to be my starter for no, long periods of time or anything of that nature. I'd rather go with Wiley. I trust Wiley more inside than I trust Allegretti. Allegretti was kind of getting blown off the ball 3 yards, setting a new line of scrimmage in the backfield every single time last year. He is a little bit better in run blocking a little bit, but his pass blocking is not the greatest. I would say that. But what you think about that, Carter?
I mean, I really hope Connerly takes the right tackle spot, but yeah, I probably agree with you. I'd go with Wiley for the same reasons. I mean, he's proven it that he can block. He's a good depth piece. Allegretti kind of gets hated on though. I mean, he didn't do terrible last year, but like you said, the pass blocking was not great. I'd rather have Wiley just due to that.
Yeah. Kind of going in with this O-line kind of came a shape after the draft. Reedie and I, we kind of had our eyes set on Wiley being at right guard up until Cosme comes back. And then, as camp kind of folded out and we saw that Connerly Jr. was, taking second and third team reps, and Wiley was getting the first team reps. Then it kind of folded into Allegretti being that guard. And, we've been, chatted with Linnell Willingham from 106. And he's saying that, he was high on Trent Scott being that right guard. Trent Scott definitely stepped in the pinch last year at tackle and at guard. You know what I mean? So, and he did pretty well at guard. So, that's definitely something there to keep an eye on. But it seems like that, starting out, it's Allegretti for now. But we'll see how it plays. But I've been on record saying I don't think Allegretti is a starter in this league. Definitely a depth guy, but not somebody that's going to give you week after week after week after week consistency. So that's my thing. So yeah, any player who could be a surprise cut. Someone coming into camp we expected to make the 53. Go ahead, Reedie.
So the guys that we expected to make the 53, the surprise was Ja'Cory Brooks. That's what we were saying, and it started off pretty good for him. And we was glazing, yeah, Ja'Cory Brooks. We told y'all Ja'Cory Brooks, but then as the days have gone on and they stack days on days on days, I don't know now. I'm kind of I'm not necessarily sold all the way if he's going to be the surprise that makes the 53-man roster. Now there could be a surprise cut. I don't know who that's going to be. I don't know, because when we go back and we look at the depth chart, I mean, it's pretty much slotted defensively how it should go. The only outlier is really running back position. If they're going to keep 3 or if they're going to keep 4. Wide receiver wise, I mean, we pretty much know it's going to be Terry, Debo, Noah Brown, like Carter said, Luke McCaffrey, and whoever else fits in after that. I don't even really have any expectations for any of the guys. Like Z said the other day, it's just Debo and the guys at this point. So I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I would say, and I'm only going with this one because it's what I heard today. Sam Hartman. And the reason why I said that is because
oh yeah, I said that.
First of all, why did we bring in Josh Johnson for one? For two, in camp last week, there was a practice where Mariota actually didn't practice for a week. So you had Josh Johnson and Hartman getting the second and third team reps, and they were duking it out in practice. So, even in this first preseason game, I kind of like expect both of them to get the bulk of the time. So that's a real true battle. Josh Johnson and Hartman. Cliff Kingsbury, I didn't catch the full clip today, but I did hear him say something along the lines where, Hartman has good throws, then he has bad throws. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's all pieces and cream for him. I know last year being a rookie, he, it was a development thing. So I think it was kind of more of like a lock in a sense. I like Hartman. Man, I think he has a nice arm. I think he made some nice throws last week in practice. I felt like last year he was a guy making nice throws. He did pretty well in the preseason. I think that he's okay as a backup, but it's just standing out to me like they really brought in Josh Johnson to give Hartman some bump, and it's like, okay, well, he could be on the bubble, especially after what Cliff said today. Like, I was shocked to hear Cliff kind of talk about him in that way, like he doesn't always do great in a sense.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, I think that's the one battle, like at the quarterback position, like there's one battle, that's the battle. Yeah, Cliff said he like basically turns the ball over. He needs to kind of watch, where he's throwing it a little bit, have more care for the football. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I'd agree with that. I don't really see any others, surprise cuts. Josh Johnson's 39 years old. Why else would they bring him in? They're going to compete. And I think, they take the veteran experience. Also, it would be a surprise cut because I think one day they want Hartman to be the backup quarterback when Mariota retires. I think they hope that he emerges, but right now, yeah, it doesn't look great for him.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like a Josh Johnson kind of fits the mold of what they're trying to put out there. Like, he's similar to Mariota. He's similar to JD5 in the, as far as what he brings in the, extending plays, and he can use his feet and things of that nature. I don't really see Sam Hartman as that type of guy. I was kind of shocked when I thought he would have been cut last year. I was surprised that they kept him along, but he was a guy that, an undrafted free agent that they gave the big money as it relates to undrafted free agents at the time. So, me and Z were talking about it. He was like, that's why he's sticking around. But I could see him getting cut this year. But I mean, he hasn't looked that bad in practice when the practices that I've been at, but he could be a guy that could be on his way out. But I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
The more and more I think about this running back room, it's bothering me that Bill is where he's slotted at the moment. It's really bothering me. And I get it that, you got to earn it, but I wasn't necessarily sold on Bill. Like, I think he's a good player, but Z was basically saying like he's going to compete to be the starter. And I'm not ready to like give that to him as of yet. But it kind of bothers me because I feel like he's better than the guys that are in front of him a little, based off of what I've seen thus far.
One more thing on Josh Johnson. He's ahead of Sam Hartman on the depth chart. I don't know if we talked about it or not. He's ahead. But yeah, the running backs, yeah, I guess. I mean, they just make him earn it, but his cuts are like, they're insane. I think, yeah, he should be ahead of C-Rod. Like, he should be ahead of McNichols. McNichols is a great blocker, but he didn't do anything else real well. Yeah, Krosky Merritt, he probably would have been a third or fourth round pick if he didn't, play one game last year. But yeah, I'm not sold on him either. I'm not going to sit here and act like he's going to be getting starting reps, week one. He's probably going to get some reps maybe, but yeah, I'm not ready to, act like he's some great player, like everybody else is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the oddball here. Like I mean, I'm not going to jump out of the limb. I was literally about to say I've seen enough, but I'm not going to jump out of the limb and say I've seen enough. I want to. It's like I want to say that, but like
that's crazy. If you've seen enough,
like no. But what I'm saying in the sense of like I feel like I've seen enough to know that he's going to make this team and that he's going to be in the mix. I feel like he has been the best running back in camp straight period like that. You know what I mean? We saw B-Rob take a run, get a nice cut, and it seemed like he have a little bit more burst this year. I
Well,
mean,
B-Rob
B-Rob
always
is
has burst at this time of year.
yeah, B-Rob is the number one running back on this team. We know that. You know, and you know, if anybody goes back and catches any of our old episodes or anything, I've said that, you know, don't be surprised if, you know, he's knocking on Eckler's door. You know, Bill's knocking on Eckler's door for some reps. I think Eckler is still the lock to be our third down back, but I think second down carries, first down carries, I think Bill is going to be getting, you know, especially about halfway through the season. If he continues on this path, at least by halfway through the season, he's getting some of both of their reps, and he could potentially be the number 2 in the sense of he can put him in on any down. The Eckler, you can mix him in here and there, but you know, you got to watch the Eckler's courage. You got to watch, you know what I mean, his usage because, you know what I mean, because it's injury history. You know what I mean? So that's why I was saying I feel like you know, Krosky Murray is going to shake this room up and demand some reps. Sometimes he's going to take reps from somebody. Either McNichols or Rodriguez is not going to make this team because Bill is certainly making this team, and we're not going to stash him on no practice squad because somebody's going to come and snatch him. So
yeah, I agree.
He's a lock to make the team, in my opinion.
I agree. I think either. I think McNichols might be the odd man out, but I mean, depending on what you're looking for. If you're looking for somebody that could come in and pass pro, then obviously you keep McNichols. If you're looking for a guy that can come in, put his head down and get you some tough yards, then you keep C-Rod. I definitely think that one or both of them are going to be on the practice squad. Somehow now, you know, with the, you know, the expanded rosters or for practice squads, you know, we could kind of keep those guys. And I do believe what you said, Z, if we put Krosky Murray, even though he's a 7th-round pick, we, you know, put him on the practice squad, somebody's gonna come and snatch him. So I do believe that. So I do think it's going to be B-Rob and Eckler by necessity because we don't have anybody else, and then obviously, you know, Krosky Murray. And I hope he does turn out to be the back that, you know, everybody in the fan base seems to think that he's going to be. Like, he is very explosive. His cutting ability is insane. I just
what
need
you think
to
about
see,
that last video, Reedie?
I mean,
I didn't get to ask you yet. What was your reaction?
I mean, it was cool. I mean, it was cool, bro. like you know what I'm gonna give you. Like, show it to me in live bullets. Because here's the thing with Krosky Murray. He was a 7th-round pick. Got it. Okay, yeah, he might have been a 4th-round pick, you know, if he would have played at Arizona. Okay, we all know that. But he didn't. He played for New Mexico State. So you cannot tell me, like, I don't get excited for guys that come from schools like that. I'm just being honest. Maybe I'm biased. Maybe I'm an SEC guy or I'm a Big Ten or, you know, I just don't get excited about guys like that. So, you know, you got to do it against some top tier competition. Yeah, he went to the East-West Shrine game. He turned up. He won the MVP. Okay, I got it. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, I like JCM, but yeah, I don't know if I'm ready to, you know, put him up there. That video is nice though. He looks really good. I mean, 7th-round pick. We'll see what he's got. He's just playing with house money right now. He's a 7th-round pick.
I mean, are we gonna sit here and glaze this video because he made a couple cuts and cutbacks, but it wasn't like nobody really trying to tackle him for real. So I can't put too much onus on that.
But
you know what I mean?
but he was making cuts and hit the hole before he even got to the point of even potentially being near contact. Like, he was doing his running back thing before he even got to that point. So, like,
I will say this, that it's more exciting than our number 1 back. I tell you that.
More excited than all of them.
More excited than that. I'm not ready to see.
I ain't seen nobody. I ain't seen nobody in our backfield cut like that since Gibby. So you already know how I feel.
I immediately just didn't want to smile at anything. We're still talking about Gibby. Like, really? Stop what you
There you
doing
go,
about
my
Gibby.
man.
Like he's in New England. We're
I'm
gonna
not
see him
letting Gibby
Friday.
go.
He's
He'll be
probably
back at
gonna
one
get
point.
fucking cut, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hope not. Carter, what did you think about Gibby?
I liked him for a period of time, but he was like, bro, he just has fumble issues. Like I was tired of watching him fumble like when nobody hits him. So yeah, that's what I thought about him. Not impressed. Wasn't enough to
Respect.
buy a jersey.
Yeah, I never bought a jersey, but that was my man though. Respect. Hold on, we about to pull this video up.
See, I think everybody saw the video. See, like,
I just rewatched it.
You keep wanting to.
See, that's what I'm saying. I saw Carter over there looking at it. I already knew he was watching.
Keep blazing this video. Bro, come on.
I ain't gonna pull the video. It's cool.
Now go ahead, pull it up. Pull it up. Pause. Pull it up.
1 second. Chill on my
But anything else?
Chill.
Any other position battle groups? I mean, I wish we had another kicker in camp that we could kind of like judge against.
And this was a few plays. It wasn't just one play.
They're playing 2-man touch.
He's out running guys.
That is like the third video though that like
They
posted.
He following his block, making his cuts, no contact.
He did turn that corner. We would want a guy that could turn that corner though.
Yeah, to make some play. Look at that. All tackling. Boy's nice. That boy's good.
At least we know who's the president of the Jacory Krosky Merritt fan club, Z.
About to make the page now. But yeah. So outside of that though, let me see. What was so how do you feel about this just Jayden and his second year? Is he gonna I mean, of course not. I don't think any of us think he's gonna have a sophomore slump, but you know, how you feel about Jayden overall, Carter, and what you think he gonna, is it gonna be MVP type year or what? What you think?
Yeah, I made a video that he's going to be the MVP, so I'm gonna stand on that. I think he's gonna be the MVP. Him and Mahomes could duke it out for that. He's not taking a sophomore slump. He's not CJ Stroud. Not that CJ Stroud had a bad year, but yeah, he's fine. I mean, he's gonna continue to be surgical. He continues to look good. He's just Jayden Daniels, man. He's going to cement his name. You know, if anybody had any doubts, he's gonna prove them wrong. He's gonna lead us somewhere this year, I believe.
Yeah,
over 4,000 passing yards, probably.
Yeah, what was it we were talking about, Reedie? Was that what we were saying? He need to get more passing yards this year or something like that?
Yeah, I was saying like if he wants to compete for the MVP, he obviously needs to be in the, like the 43 to 45, 5,000 yards passing category to just even be able to keep pace with some of those names like a Mahomes, and you got Lamar coming in there like putting up numbers now. Then you still got Matthew Stafford, you got guys in there, CJ Stroud, you got, I think he's going to come along. And I also think like, he kind of has to separate himself from like Bo Nix and some of these, other Caleb Williams and, because I think Caleb is going to have an okay season. I don't know if it's going to be a great season, but I think it's going to be okay to kind of be in that conversation. Because I feel like the MVP, them statistics matter when it relates to that.
Yeah, I think Jayden's definitely going to turn up this year. Hopefully it's with Terry and, with no issues. But I think outside of that, I feel like we need Terry to go back, to get back to where we were last year and even potentially surpass that. We certainly need him. It seems like the team has no intention on trading him. There was a rumor that leaked out today or came out today or whatever. And it was somehow the Dolphins and the Commanders have discussed trading Terry for Tyreek Hill. Did you see that, Reedie?
Yeah, I seen a discussion about it, and I mean, I gotta agree with the people. Like, I like Terry, but I would take Cheetah. I
I
would take him
mean,
in a heartbeat.
I would definitely, if I got to lose Cherry and acquire Cheetah, okay, I can live with that. I don't think it's any truth to it.
I don't
You
think
know what I
it
mean?
is
But
either.
I think Jaden and Tyreek Hill would do numbers though. So like it'll be insane. Imagine that.
Now, do you imagine, like, we talking
Yeah, the
about Terry
deep
takes the
ball,
top
like,
off
oh my
defense? You
goodness.
had Cheetah going up top. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
And Cheetah really can run anything. You can run him. You can put him on a quick slant. You can put him on a bubble. You can put him on a hitch, a slant. He could take it anywhere. You can put him on a dig. You can send him up top on a fly. You can have him run option routes. Anything you want him to run, he is going to just purely with his speed, bro. Like, forget his technique, his speed. Like, just speed. Like what they used to say back in the day, speed kills. It definitely kills. And I hope it don't. But if it ever came down to that, I would take Cheetah.
Yeah,
just
I'd
the
take
overall
Cheetah.
career.
I'd take Cheetah, but there's no truth to that. I don't think, because like earlier we got reports that they don't want to trade him. They have no intentions of trading Terry, and also the Dolphins will probably want to pick or something with that because Terry's not as good as the Cheetah.
Yeah.
That's
But
true.
what about the contract situation for the Cheetah? Does that even make sense for us to even look into that?
Yeah, that'd be. What's he making? 30 million? Yeah.
Yeah, he making 30.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Because
He
they
also
didn't touch his contract after he requested a trade last year, right? Or the
I
end of
don't
the
think so.
season. Yeah.
They extended him like he was coming off a 1,700 yard season, so like that doesn't help Terry's situation this year either. Like he came off of 1,700 yards.
I mean, even if they are like, Stephen A. Smith came out this past week saying that reports have shown that the Commanders are looking to give Terry from the range of 27 to 28 million a year. So if they're willing to give him that, like, come on, bro, let's make it a cool even 30 and just like let this be done. You know what I'm saying? Throw some more incentives in there for him. If he eclipses this, he eclipses that. If he can get 1,500 yards, a bonus might kick in here or there or whatever. We get to the playoffs and then incrementally we make it to the divisional round, we make it to the NFC Championship, we get to the Super Bowl, he gets more money. Like, do it like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's be done with this. Let's move on. Because this wide receiver room ain't looking too promising. I wasn't looking too promising with him in the room, so it's damn sure not looking too promising with him. Possibly, I don't know if he's willing to walk away from what is he getting, 23 million this year? That's his cap.
But that's the thing. It's like 1 minute they reporting he's getting 19, 1 minute they reporting it's 23, 1 minute they reporting it's 25. Like, what is the real number? You know what I mean? I think what, like Sports Track or whatever they talking about, I think that says what, like 25. So it's just the numbers has been all over the place.
I think this year he was making like 17 million or something like that.
But
yeah,
same.
Overall, it was like 23 million, I think.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, pay the man to get this shit over with.
Yeah, what y'all think? I'm honestly tired of talking about it. Go ahead.
Yeah, me too. What y'all think? 30 million or below or above?
I say 30. I say he comes in around 30 million, 31.
I agree.
I don't think he gets to 32 to 34. I think around there, I think that's the sweet. He's just gonna have to take that. Maybe less, we posed the idea of 3-year deal, 90 million. What was it, 60 or 70 guaranteed?
70.
What was it? 70 guaranteed. Somewhere in that range. And just, we'll figure it out after the fact, but he may want longer term. So I think that may be the issue. Like, if he thinks he's going to get a 4 or 5 year deal, like, that's anybody that believes that, you're stupid. Like, you shouldn't even believe that, because you're not getting that deal. You're 29 years old. You're on September 15th or 17th. He turns 30 years old. So we're saying he has 1 year left on his current deal. So this deal isn't going to kick in until he's 31. and then you additional 3 years. You're 34 years old. If you get long, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't see nobody like Keenan Allen. Ain't he in that kind of boat right now? He's like 32, 33 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he can still contribute. I think he can still give you something, but he's at home.
Well, they actually said he had a visit with the Chargers today, so he could potentially be going back there. Yeah. So looking at Terry's deal, it's saying it's a base of 15.5 with a signing of 5.6, 2.8 roster bonus, which I feel like there was also a roster / game bonus, 850,000, workout bonus, 500,000, which he missed out on. I believe that was the case. 250,000 in incentives with a total cap hit of 25.5. So it's a lot of bonuses and everything in there, but his base is 15.5. So the bonuses is what gets him up to the 25.5.
He's also going to lose like a ton of that for missing the training camp practices that he did and mandatory mini camp. But I think both sides are being stubborn. I think AP's not offering enough, and I think Terry's asking for too much. Like if he's asking for $33 million.
Do you think is it Buddy Baker or is it Terry?
I think Buddy Baker, like he doesn't have any good clients. Like there's a guy, I forget something Wharton, I forget his first name. He makes $15 million, and then Jeremy Chin is his third client, $8 million. So he has no good clients. He fed Terry. He said, "I'm gonna get you this money," and then he didn't. He's not gonna end up getting it. And Terry had his mind set on the money the whole time. I think that's probably the issue.
Yeah,
I've been saying that this is Terry's last
dollars before he got it.
Yeah, I've been saying like this is his last time to cash in, so he has to stand 10 toes down on this one. He can't cave now. Like I mean, but Terry, I don't think you're going to get upwards of 34, 35 million a year. We might can get you to 30, but then that seems like that's more of a stretch too now. So I mean, you might just want to take the bread and just, get it. But Herman Robb is saying that AP not gonna be the first GM to, pay a 30-year-old $30 million.
That's what I said earlier.
But then this kind of like sets the precedent for Debo next year, like his negotiations.
Yeah.
So from
how old is Debo?
Standpoint,
29.
Debo 29.
Yeah.
From an organizational standpoint, they got to make a stand too. Like it ain't about to be that sweet over here. We ain't gonna be paying all y'all all this money.
Yeah. So Debo might have a clock that he's not gonna get 30 next year.
Well, he's not gonna be as productive as Terry was last year. I don't think. We'll see.
Shit, I think Debo's gonna be very productive this year. But
yeah, he's going to be. I
think they do two different things. Like they're two different types of players. So like we can't really match apples and oranges to what production that Terry may have and what production Debo may have. I think Debo is probably going to be, to me, the better of the production just because of what he does in those tight moments, those gotta have it moments. Whereas Terry isn't not really a guy that you necessarily go to all the time in a 3rd and 4 or a 2nd and 8 or just those when you 4th and such and such when you gotta have a type guy. Sometimes, but I feel like Debo is going to be targeted more because he could do more. You know what I mean?
I mean, under the defense, short slant routes, Debo can be more productive. He can be that guy to go to. So, yeah, you might be right. He might be more productive.
Yeah. Debo is definitely a yak, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they saying Debo 7 to 10 touchdowns. Debo is a yak, man. Facts. Any other let me look.
This offense is going to be fun. I am tripping on Von Miller becoming our starting outside linebacker at 75.
Yeah, I said the same thing at the top of the show. I was shocked when I saw him as the starter for outside linebacker when we thought, brought here to be a situational pass rusher.
Mm-hmm.
So, Z, what do you think about that? Because Vaughn was a Z guy. You've been calling this all season when, we were in the sweepstakes with Trey Henderson and Myles Garrett, when we were going through that exercise back and forth on, what we should give up. And you was like, why don't we just go get a guy like Von Miller and bring him in? So, like, what's your thoughts? He's a starter, not a situational guy.
I think it's just an unofficial depth chart that they just threw him on there. I don't think he's going to be a starter. I think he'll be starting on third downs. You know what I mean? Fourth downs, those passing second and longs. You know what I mean? But, not a first down guy, not a rundown guy. And you know what I mean? It'll be like that. But like I said earlier, seeing him there, seeing his name listed there, the outside linebacker, it was like, okay. But I ain't put too much into it. But I think Von Miller is going to have. I'm on a limb saying he's going to have over 10 sacks this year. I'm going to predict that one. Last year he only had 6. Last year he only had 6. I'm betting he have over 10 sacks this year.
That's a hot take.
That's a real hot take.
Yep.
I give him 6 to 8 maybe, but he could get 10.
8 is the ceiling for me.
Yeah.
And over 10?
Over 10.
So he's going to have 11 or more?
10 and a
What's
half
today's
or more.
date? August 4th, 2025?
4th, yes.
Monday Command Z said it. Von Miller will have
what he say?
10 sacks.
What he say? I mean, they told me I can rush the quarterback. Like, I can get up and I can do this in my sleep. Like, his usage is going to be slightly different in Baltimore.
He said my slippers.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? I think that means something. I also, you know what I mean? Dan Quinn and, Joe Witt, they get these guys, they get them situational guys that can rush quarterback. I'm saying over 10 sacks. I think it happened.
So we must be getting ready to bring back Z's bets because Z's bets in a minute.
We're gonna make it when Z's bets first started, the prop bets wasn't out. So we gonna mix those in again this year
over
too.
10, the
NFL
over on
futures.
that. That's tough.
For the season, over 10 sacks. Von Miller. Book it.
That's cap.
Book it.
That is cap. See, you don't believe
Book
it.
I believe it. I'm telling you. Got a gut feeling.
You trying to sell y'all on this dream of. You're just trying to be controversial right now. Talking about 10 sacks.
I got a gut feeling.
Oh man, that's crazy, Z. That's crazy work.
Mm-hmm.
Even Von Miller would say, I can't get 10 sacks next year.
Shit. Watch it happen. When it happens, we bring in Carter on the show. The night that it happens, Carter, you coming on the show.
Go
Probably, if we make the playoffs, there's a shot, but which we will. But I think
he might come out there with 2 week 1. Then what we gonna be saying?
Man, if Von Miller come out and he like in the first 7-8 games got 6-7 sacks, Z gonna be talking about, I told y'all he was gonna get 10 sacks. Watch. Oh man, that's crazy.
Hey, let's get it. Plus 1,000, cuz put 100 on it.
Kermit Rob said he with you, Z. Y'all crazy. Y'all smoking some good pack. I don't know what pack y'all smoking, but y'all smoking some good pack. Where's y'all getting this? What dispensaries is y'all going to and y'all getting this pack? Because y'all smoking some good stuff over there. I don't know.
I'm trying to tell you.
That's
but
crazy.
Yeah, any other predictions? Like what do you think we finished this year, Carter?
I'll go 11-6 because it's a way harder schedule. I'd like to say 13 wins, but there are so many good teams we have to play. Yeah, I'd go 11-6 probably.
Yeah.
Z, what was my prediction? I forgot. What did I say?
It was somewhere between 10 and 12 games. I don't remember exactly.
I said 12 and 5.
I think we both kind of settled in that. I think I had us
11 and 6.
You had 11 and 6, and I had either 12 and 5 or 13 and 4. When we went through the schedule that episode. because I felt like we were either going to be the same or a game better. But I mean, last year we won a lot of close games, so we need to, attack teams early. But with a better defense, we should be able to.
Yeah, on paper, it's looking like it's better. The what's coming out of training camp and stuff like that is looking like it's better. But I gotta see it. If we can stop the run, I feel like the secondary is going to be able to hold their own. If we can just stop the run, I think we'll be okay, and we can produce pass rush as a group. But Von Miller does help everybody else because I don't care how old he is, like he still has that bend, he still has that get off that you can't coach. So hopefully, with that, other guys can eat as well.
He had the fastest pass rush get off last year, so
yeah,
he still got it.
He's still out here.
Yeah, I don't know about 10 sacks, but
Fowler did it.
That's true. I mean, that's true. How old is Fowler?
Got to be like 28.
And then Von Miller's 36.
Von's like 30, 39.
36.
Nah, yeah, I think he's 33.
And faster, and still a faster pause, faster get off.
Von's 31. Who's 31, Duran?
Let's see.
Who is 31?
It has to be.
Is it Fowler? Fowler's 31. Yeah, because Dante Fowler, like he came out of University of Florida like a minute ago.
Yeah, he is 31.
Yeah, Fowler's 31. He turned 31 yesterday.
So he's 30.
Yeah.
And he just had a breakout year. It's kind of crazy.
I'm saying, book it.
I can see Von getting maybe 8 sacks, but over 10, that's pushing it.
It's only 2
That's
more.
really pushing it.
It's only 2 more.
Yeah.
I think you can do it.
No, actually, it's 3 more because you said over 10.
Well, yeah.
I remember that year that your man Kerrigan, we were trying to get him to get 3 more sacks, and he couldn't get nothing.
Kerrigan, that was my man. Heartbreak kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else?
Anything else, guys? Any other comments? Anything you guys want to bring up before we go?
Any questions for us, Carter?
Nah, man. Y'all season ticket holders or nah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Well, you said you're coming out to week 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you sitting?
I ordered the tickets like 3 months ago. I know it's somewhere like up. I think it might be the club level because I normally go to the club level. So
Okay.
Somewhere up there.
But yeah, we were in the club last year and we moved down to the 100 level.
Yeah, we
So
said we had
It's a lot more expensive this year.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, save some coins down in the 100 level, and you're in a mix. There's a lot going on down there last year. We used to be up there laughing.
Yeah, like in the club level, it's cool. You get all the amenities and all of that, and if it's cold, you can go inside. If it's raining, you can go inside. You got the little chairs and the lounges stuff and all of that. But like, it's nothing like being down in the mix. Like they had a good time down in that 100 level last year, so we decided to go back down. I don't like it because you stand up the whole game, and I don't want to stand up the whole game. But I gotta sacrifice.
Yeah, I was about to say I sat there. I think it was like 2020 for one game. Sat down there. You had to stand up the whole game. Like if you go to the club level, you just sit the whole game and kind of chill. Although I'm not really a chill fan. I would yell a lot, like when I'm at home or at the game.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, if you definitely if you get out there early too, we tailgate. So
I saw you that one year. Like I
he
said,
said he saw our tent out there.
Oh yeah.
When we first started out.
Okay.
So yeah, so this year we got 2 tents. So we stepping it up a little bit. So make sure y'all tap in with us, and we we talked about potentially doing some collab tailgates with some family members. So this year should be up. Yeah, it should be up for sure.
Yeah, our channel is about to take off this year.
Oh,
When you get wins, you get a lot of views. Somehow,
Man, last year, if we was on what we on now last year, we would probably be over 5K. But you know, we kind of caught on towards the end.
Yeah,
and,
same. I started last year.
Yeah, and it just was jumping. So then it kind of fizzled out during the off season. But it's picking back up now. You know, conversation with the national media and all that.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's picking up. So, you know, I mean, with just anytime the team is being talked about, it's gonna pick up.
Yeah.
So yeah. But you know, Reedie got a little, well, I don't want to say a little, he got Reedie Field over there. You know, I mean, this is looking real nice. So I told him one of these home games, we're gonna have to sell the tickets, take the profit, and just chill in Reedie Field. Oh man,
then we're gonna be mad that we wasn't in the building.
Fuck around, be a game with we have 2 pick sixes or something. We'd be sick.
Yeah, something crazy happened.
Yeah,
like, man, we stay home for this.
Yeah, this year it's gonna be up. It's gonna be up though.
Yeah, but if you haven't already done so, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification. You know, and so we can, you know, give you out more videos like this. But Carter, tell the people where they can find you
at WSH Carter on YouTube, X, all the social media platforms. Stands for Washington Carter. Yeah, just make sure you sub up. Give me the 2K. We about 300 subscribers away. That'd be greatly appreciated. Also, subscribe to Reedie Zee. That's all I got.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, man, appreciate you, Carter. Like I said at the beginning of the show, you know, we love the work you're doing. You know, stick with it. Like you said, it started last year, and look at the momentum you got going on. Definitely know your football, and man, we'd love to have you again. And definitely, you know, let us know when you got an available slot on your side. We'll definitely pop in and, you know, talk on your channel as well. But it's always a pleasure to, you know, connect and collab with fellow creators in this community. You know, one thing we strive on is you know, building together. You know what I mean? And I think this community definitely offers that, because it's a lot of us. And you know what I mean, on our end, it's never no hate. It's always love. And you know what I mean, anybody out there, if you got a page or you're a creator or whatnot, and you want to have us on your show, or, you know, come on Reedie Zee, just hit us up. We always down. So definitely was a pleasure, Carter. Appreciate you. And you know what I mean, I love talking football with you tonight, and definitely look forward to do it again.
All right. Thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely. Definitely. Definitely. And then everybody, please go follow Carter over on Instagram. And also, you know, we'll be clipping up some of these shows. Well, this show, as usual, and we'll be in the comments. As you guys know, we try to answer every comment. So, you know, stay on the lookout for that. But we got some other stuff coming up, some other collabs coming up in the near future, some stuff we're putting together as far as like pre-week 1, you know, content and stuff like that. So be on the lookout for that. Also, this Wednesday, we will be on with John Dowd from the Ball in the Burgundy podcast, as well as Juan Gotti from Juan Gotti Talking Sports for the Burgundy Breakdown around 9:30 on Wednesday, where we will discuss what we saw or what we've seen thus far from the preseason game, if it's not over by the time we go live. So be on the lookout for that. But thank y'all for tuning in with us. I'm Reedie.
I'm Zee.
And thank you again, Carter, for coming on. And we're gone.
Thank y'all for having me.
Reedie Zee shout. It's the